If you've been waiting for some relief, the good news is finally here. The Treasury has confirmed that $6,800 stimulus payments are starting to roll out this week, and this could be a lifeline for many. But here's the catch. Not everyone is automatically eligible. So, how do you know if you'll receive the payment, and what steps do you need to take to make sure you don't miss out? First, let's break down who qualifies. These stimulus checks are part of ongoing financial support aimed at helping individuals who have been impacted by the challenges over the past few years. For many seniors, this can mean a significant boost to your budget, especially with inflation and rising costs of living. But it's important to act fast, as these payments won't be around forever. So, what's the criteria? The government has set specific eligibility rules, including income thresholds and other factors that could affect your qualification. It's not just about being a senior, it's about meeting certain financial requirements and having filed your tax returns. For some, there may be additional paperwork or forms to submit, and missing this step could mean missing out on much-needed support. But don't worry, it's not too late to check your eligibility and ensure everything is in order. In this video, we'll walk you through the steps to quickly find out if you qualify and what you need to do next. It's simple, and you can check your status from the comfort of your home. Whether you're counting on this payment to cover rising medical expenses, utility bills, or even some extra savings, it's crucial to stay informed and act swiftly. This money could provide the financial security you've been waiting for if you know where to look. So, if you're wondering if you're eligible for that $6,800 stimulus check, keep watching. We're about to break it all down for you in detail, so you don't miss out on this important opportunity. Now that we know the stimulus payments are arriving soon, let's get into how you can check if you're eligible for this relief. First and foremost, it's essential to understand that these payments are designed to support individuals who have faced significant financial hardships, and they are being targeted to those who need it most. For many seniors, these payments can serve as a much-needed buffer against rising healthcare costs, utility bills, or even everyday expenses like groceries. The eligibility criteria can be a bit tricky, and that's why it's important to stay informed. The primary factor for eligibility is your income, but it's not just about your total earnings. The government also looks at the income of anyone you might be living with, so if you live with a spouse, their income will also be taken into account. But even if you don't have a high income, it doesn't necessarily mean you won't qualify. The government has taken special steps to ensure that seniors who might have a fixed income can still receive support. Now, if you've filed your taxes in the past, you should already have a good idea of where you stand. The government uses your most recent tax returns to determine whether you qualify. For those who haven't filed taxes recently, there's still hope. You may be able to file a simplified tax return to get the payment. The key here is to make sure that the government has accurate and up-to-date information about your income. If you haven't filed taxes recently, don't worry, you can still get your payment by following the process outlined by the IRS. They've made it as simple as possible for people who aren't required to file taxes to still get the assistance they need. So how do you check if you qualify? The good news is, there's an easy way to find out. The IRS has set up an online tool to help you check your eligibility for the stimulus payments. It's straightforward to use and can provide you with the information you need in just a few minutes. By entering some basic details, you'll know right away if you qualify and when you can expect your payment. It's always a good idea to visit the official IRS website to avoid any confusion or potential scams. If you do qualify, the next step is to figure out how you'll receive the payment. For many seniors, the payment will be deposited directly into their bank account. If you haven't updated your banking information with the IRS, now is the time to do so. It's also possible that some seniors will receive a paper check or even a prepaid debit card. This depends on your preference, as well as your prior interactions with the IRS. Again, this is where it's important to have your information updated so you don't miss out on the payment. You might be wondering how much money you could be receiving. The $6,800 amount is just the maximum eligible payment, but the actual amount you receive will depend on your specific circumstances. The payment amounts are tiered based on income and household size, so it's essential to check the exact formula that applies to you. If you are married or live with a partner, you may both qualify for separate payments, but the total amount you receive could vary based on your combined income. One important thing to note is that these stimulus payments are not taxable. This means that you won't have to pay any additional taxes on the payment when it arrives. However, you will need to keep track of the payment in case the IRS needs to know about it for future reference, especially when you file your taxes for the following year. It's always a good idea to keep your records in order so that if you do receive the payment, you won't run into any issues later on. If you don't qualify for the full $6,800, there may still be an option for partial payments. This can depend on your income and other factors, such as your filing status. For seniors who don't have a high income, this partial payment can still make a huge difference. Even if you don't qualify for the full amount, you'll still have a chance to get some support, and that can help make things more manageable during difficult times. The government is aware that many seniors rely on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI benefits, and they have tried to ensure that this new round of payments is accessible to all those who need it most. If you're currently receiving Social Security, SSDI, or SSI benefits, there's a good chance that you may automatically qualify for the payment. The IRS will use the information it already has on file to issue the payments to eligible individuals who receive these benefits. If you are one of these people, you may not even need to take any additional steps to receive the payment. However, if you haven't received your payment by the date provided, it's important to check your eligibility again to ensure everything is in order. For seniors who are still waiting on their stimulus payment, it's understandable to feel anxious. The delays are frustrating, but don't worry, there is still time. While these payments are being sent out this week, the IRS is working to ensure that all eligible individuals get their payment. It's important to be patient and check your information regularly to stay updated on when you can expect to see the payment. In some cases, there may be delays due to issues such as incorrect bank account details or missing tax filings. If this happens, the IRS will typically send out notices explaining why the payment hasn't been processed. If you believe you should have received a payment and haven't, make sure to reach out to the IRS as soon as possible. They have a dedicated helpline to help answer questions and resolve issues related to stimulus payments. As a senior, staying on top of these changes and updates is critical, not only for your financial well-being, but also for your peace of mind. The last thing anyone wants is to miss out on an important payment that could make a real difference in their daily life. That's why it's so important to be proactive and check your eligibility for the $6,800 stimulus payments. Ultimately, the goal of these payments is to provide relief to those who need it most. For seniors in the United States, this financial assistance is designed to ease some of the burdens that come with living on a fixed income, rising medical costs, and other challenges. Whether you qualify for the full $6,800 or a partial payment, this assistance can go a long way toward improving your quality of life during a difficult time. So if you haven't already, be sure to check your eligibility for the $6,800 stimulus payment today. The payments are starting to go out this week, and you don't want to miss out. By staying informed, keeping your information updated, and taking action when needed, you'll be in the best position to receive the financial support you deserve. Don't wait. Check now and make sure you're not missing out on this important opportunity.